Hello Titans, today we're going to start a new project and we're going to use Illustrator to do it. And this project is going to be all about patterns. So patterns, especially line patterns, are where we're going to start. So this video is going to explain to you how to make them and how to use them. Now I just want to add that while I'm opening this, you're going to see something that looks similar to one of your older projects. It's not the same project, so just relax. And you're going to be like, Mr. Cier, we already did this project. But this is not the project that you did before. However, there are some repeated elements. For one, we're going to be using the pen tool because we're going to be creating lines. That's what you do when we create lines in Illustrator. Just like in Miss Malloy's class, if you had a second project where you draw something, you usually don't have one project where you draw with pencil throughout the entire 4 years that you're with her. So you're going to repeat some things with me too. Actually, I'm going to go to my selection tool just so I could point for a few minutes. So here we have zigzags and we have some wavy lines, and I don't care what you call these things, by the way. You could call it whatever kind of line you want, but these are all examples of line patterns, and I'm going to show you how to make them. Now, the main difference between last year is that we're going to make a pattern in a way that we actually measure and make sure everything looks as perfect as any of these. Each of these lines have an exact amount of space between them, and you can tell that it's a repeated line. Repeating of something, repeating of one of the elements of art is by definition what a pattern means. So we're going to want to have those repeated spaces or repeated lines. All right, so to make a pattern, we're going to make our page a little bit different. We're going to go to File, New. The first thing you're going to do is put your new name in, and we're going to change up how we do names. It's going to be last full name first, then your first initial, then your grade, and then the project code, which in this case is VIP 1, which stands for View in Patterns 1. And we're going to call this, we're going to make sure that this is in inches before we change the numbers here. And then we're just going to create a 9 where it says number of artboards, and we're going to choose this one right here. Then press OK, and you're going to have a page that looks like this. The next step, we're going to go to View and find the rulers and click Show Rulers. You can see that they go on the page. The next thing that we're going to do is zoom in using our magnifying glass tool to zoom into our first artboard. We could also Command 0, which will bring the first artboard into view if you have already clicked it so it knows that that's the one you want to go to. So now I'm going to use guides. I'm going to use my selection tool and I'm going to use guides. If I click on the ruler and drag down, it creates what's called a guide. I want one at each of these intervals, which in this case that's the ½ inch interval, and I want it exactly to the pixel on it. So I have to take a moment to kind of put them on there, and I'm just clicking and dragging from the top ruler and putting it in place. I'm going to do the same. That one's a little bit off, so I'm going to Command Z it and do that one again. I have to have it exactly on that line when I let go. And okay. All right, then I'm going to do the same thing from the other side, and I'm going to make ½ inch intervals of that as well. What you're going to do is you're going to use this to make a grid, and I don't think you want to watch me do the whole thing, so I'm going to have my editor fast forward this part. As you can see, I have my grid drawn. So now it's time to watch my next video called Bulger Line Pattern Repeats. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave appropriate feedback.